Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn, and I'm not going to talk about books tonight. I tried to film this last night, which was Sunday the 12th, and I just couldn't get my words out. So I'm going to try this again, and hopefully this one will actually get posted. By now, I'm sure that you all know, regardless of where you are in the world, about the mass shooting in Orlando, Florida. That's 4 hours from me. If you don't know for some reason, a man, I believe his name is Omar Mateen, not quite sure, I think that was the name in the news article, went into the Pulse nightclub in Orlando and opened fire, killing 50 and injuring at least 53. It is a gay nightclub. This is not a club that has a gay night. This is a gay club. A designated safe space for the LGBT community in Orlando. And this is why it was targeted. And I make this very clear because there are a lot of news outlets who seem to be drifting away from that as a reason. They're trying to drum up anti-Muslim sentiment, which is ridiculous. They're trying to make it about the gun. And yes, it is partially about the need for a conversation about assault weapons. However, this club was chosen for a reason. And that needs to be said. That needs to be reiterated. I've never been closeted on this channel. It's been quite a number of years since I've been closeted at all. So you all know that I am a member of the LGBTQ community. And while any tragedy like this would be difficult to process, this is doubly so. Because this is my community. These are my people. And, you know, I said this on Facebook the other day, on Sunday, and this is, you know, every single day, people who are in the LGBTQ community, we wake up knowing that no matter how safe or unsafe our general situation seems, that this could be the day that someone harasses or attacks or kills us because of that identity. We know this. It may not always be at the front of our minds, but we are well aware that any day could be that day. And Saturday night was that day for at least 50 people. And it shouldn't be like this. And those of us, and those that survived, and those of us who are in the greater LGBTQ community, you know, we also know that we can go on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform, and at any moment see someone we thought we could trust, someone we thought loved us and cared for us, making statements of a vile and violent and hateful nature toward our community. We know this. This is how we live our lives every single day of the year. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I have been fortunate enough that after graduation from high school, that is, I have not had any serious difficulties relating to my lesbian and queer identity. I have had that luck, but most people don't have that luck. And this is not to say that I won't have trouble in the future. I know this. I know that any day, any time, something could, you know, kick off an argument or something like that. I was utterly shocked that I did not have to unfriend anyone in the wake of this tragedy. I think I may have cleared them all out after the Ferguson, but I'm rambling because I can't focus very well on this. It's very difficult. And I do not have any direct personal relationship with anyone who was killed or injured as far as I know. Pretty much everyone I know who I was aware lived in Orlando, I have seen already on social media, and they are fine. But they have not released all the names. There is still the possibility that I will know someone on that list. But regardless of whether or not I knew them prior, they are my family. Queer people have a very interesting concept of family. For a great number of us, we don't get to keep the family we were born in completely. A great many of us don't have that support at home. And so even if we do, we build families, we create our own, we make safe spaces, and we find people who love us and make us feel safe and make us feel wanted, and make us feel like we matter. And, these people, regardless of whether I knew their name before now, they are part of my extended family. I know to some people it can sound slightly kumbaya-ish, but I feel like until you give me a reason not to call you family, if you're in the queer community, you are part of my family. And as multiple people have said, there are people waking up in hospital beds whose families had no idea they were queer. And now they do. This was how they came out. I'm sure some of them this happened to. Some of the people who passed away, this might also be how their family finds out they were gay. There are multiple people who died and who were in the hospital who may or may not have any family looking for them, because they were rejected from their families. I don't know this for sure, but odds are at least one person, this would describe at least one of those people. And I'm rambling. This makes so little sense. I hope that this is making some kind of coherent sense in some way. But the fact is this, it's Pride Month. This happened, not only did this happen, which is bad enough, this happened during the 1 month of the year that we celebrate our identities, that we make a point to seek out that family and look at each other and say, it's okay, you matter, and you are okay, and your identity is okay. This is that month for us. And to have this happen in the midst of that is devastating. Again, I don't know for sure, but I guarantee that there was probably at least a few people in there who were completely closeted in their outside lives, but they came to Pulse because they could be themselves within those walls. Gay nightclubs and gay bars have long been those places. When I lived in Tallahassee the first time in the late 90s, there was a bar called Brothers, and it was a gay bar. And I've never been someone who goes out to bars a lot, but I went to Brothers several times, and it was some of the best times I had, because I walked in that door and suddenly I was, I wasn't a weirdo. I wasn't someone that was going to get looked at weird because I, touched my partner's back or held her hand. It was a safe space, and I know Pulse was probably that space for so many people, and that safety has been yanked out from under them, because now this thing that we knew in the back of our heads that, any day could be the day, suddenly it's here for a lot of people, and no place may feel safe for some people. And that is devastating. That is absolutely devastating. Growing up in the place I grew up, with the incidents that happened, the only public space that felt safe to me was the public library. That's it. I didn't have a gay bar or anything like that. And, but I know what that safe space of the library meant to me. And to think that that space has been taken from someone, it enrages me. And it breaks my heart, quite honestly. Because for so many queer people, there's no safe space. There's no safe space in which to be themselves, in which to let their identity loose. And those spaces that we carve out are important. So for those of you who are not in the LGBTQ community or don't really have a whole lot of friends who are, and didn't maybe not really understand what the rhetoric is around this, the bar is the safe space, that's what that is. You know, and it's one of those things where you feel completely helpless. There's not a whole lot you can do. Sunday, I don't remember the last time I felt that helpless. I went and gave blood because that was all I could do. But so many in our community are not allowed to give blood. Men who have sex with men are not allowed to give blood unless they have been celibate for 1 year. And I know I saw people being turned away because there was something online that was saying that the Orlando banks were allowing gay men to donate, which was not true apparently. And the faces, I know what they were feeling. They felt like this was all they could do, and then it was taken from them. So yeah, there's that on top of it. So there's a large portion of our community that can't even do that simple act. So yeah. There's so little that you can do that can really make a difference at this moment, because it's such a huge thing and you don't really know what to do with yourself. If you have the money to do so, there are GoFundMe groups being run by Equality Florida for the people who are in the hospital, and I also believe for the people who have died, to cover funeral expenses if needed. I will leave both of those linked below. I think that they've got capacity on blood, but in a couple of weeks they will be running low again because of the huge need for it. So please, if you are eligible, do give blood. I saw a lot of people bringing, Gatorade and water and snacks to the blood donation places because, they give you that in order to, so that you don't pass out when you give the blood and things like this. And that was a big help. A lot of people brought stuff up there while I was there. So if you have the money, do that. But giving blood is free. You can do that for free. But, another thing you can do that's free is support your LGBTQ friends. Support the queer people you know. If you hear someone making homophobic comments, if you can safely do so, make sure they know that that's not okay. Normalizing the hate is what leads to things like this. And most of all, celebrate your identity. If you are in the LGBTQ community, I know so many of you out there probably don't have a safe space to do this in. If you have a safe space in which to celebrate your identity, don't let this keep you from celebrating Pride. Don't let this keep you from going to Pride if you can do so safely. Because now more than ever, we need each other. We need that extended family. We need our queer family and our ally family to hold us up. We need to, we are bigger than this. We are bigger than the hate. We are bigger than the violence. We have been dealing with this sort of hate for years, and we are still here. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but please support your queer friends. If you don't have anybody to talk to at all, you email me. My email is below. Email me, okay? Nobody should be without somebody to talk to. Nobody. There's a group putting together an Orlando syllabus, and it's kind of like the Charleston syllabus that provided resources about race and racial issues. This is going to be about LGBTQ issues and LGBTQ resources. I will leave a link to that below. It is a growing document. So it's definitely not a complete document right now, but I'll try to find the link to the page about it. And I'll leave the GoFundMe links. And yeah, this has been very rambly. I hope that it was coherent. But the most important thing in the world to remember is that we are bigger than this. We are bigger than the hate, and we are bigger than the violence. And we're going to be okay. There are a lot of people out there that don't want us to be, but we will be. And that's important. And if you don't have anyone that you're out to and you don't have anybody to tell you, you matter. You matter to the world. You're important and you matter. Okay? And don't let the anti-Muslim rhetoric from certain areas divide us. We are all marginalized communities, and we need to support each other. So make sure that the anger is aimed in the correct direction. Yeah. So I guess that's all I have to say, guys. I'm sorry that this, that I went off on this rant, but I really felt like this needed to be said. And I'll be back soon with more book videos, and I hope that you're all safe and having a wonderful Pride Month, and stay strong and love each other. Bye.